So everybody thinks trading is about making money and making much money as you can and being a millionaire by week 3 of just learning how to trade. And if you don't have this strategy or this indicator, then you suck. And if you don't win this much or have this amount or ratio of take profit to stop loss, you're not going to ever be profitable. And all this, and the only thing that matters about trading is the market and how you read the market. And you know when you come into trading, that's what you feel, that's what you hear, that's what you see. Every video that you come into watching trading is a motivational video, a video of high success. Not too many traders ever talk about failure, and when they do, it's kind of like brushed off because they're at such a high point of success. Like, how do you even relate? See, for me, trading has been nothing but failure. I have failed so much. I've blown so many accounts, and I know I'm probably going to keep failing for a long time because I've only just begun with learning this trait, with learning this skill. I know it's going to take some time, but a lot of us as beginner traders, we come in and we have this huge motivation and just this grind. And, the moment that doesn't happen, when we think it's going to happen, we give up. So today, I don't want to talk about trading. I don't want to talk about the markets. I want to start a series, and it's called Being an Imperfectly Perfect Trader. I just want to go through each cycle of being a trader and eventually get to the point of being profitable and being profitable with the people that watch this video, even if it's only one person. But that's where I want to start with because like talking about what trading is, how to buy, how to sell, what this is, what that is, really means nothing. And it really starts people on the wrong path, learning that before they learn any type of psychology that goes into trading, before learning any type of emotional regulation that goes into trading. Just talking about the market and this and the currencies or forex or cryptos or futures or like it's like I'm telling you now, it's not going to make you profitable because you know all this stuff about the market and you know nothing about psychology. 100%, it's just not going to work. So today we're going to talk about that. Being an imperfectly perfect trader, turning every loss into a lesson. So this picture here to the left kind of talks about what goes into trading. It's personality, characteristics, it's emotional responses, it's behaviors and how you're acting, how you're feeling, and it's social pressure. Like I said, the videos we see and the things we hear about trading and being a 23-year-old millionaire, I'm 29 and I'm not even close to that. But I know that I can get there eventually as long as I keep my psychology intact. And I'm grateful for losing so much because a lot of people would be like, bro, all you do is lose. Like, why would I even listen to you? Why are you even still trading? Yes, those can be true. And if that's your opinion, that's perfectly fine. But for me, losing only helps better myself. So, failure and success with trading. Now, if you look at this slide, the first thing you'll see is failure and success and the colors. And if you are just quickly looking at it, I hope that you are thinking two things. You're either thinking, why is failure green and success red? Or you're thinking, why is failure before success? Or why is this just not broken into two different slides? Well, it's because in order to be successful as a trader, you have to fail. Like, there is no trader in the world, I can guarantee you, excuse me, that has ever succeeded without failing. I don't think there's any person in the world that has ever succeeded without failing. So the reason that failure is green and success is red, and the reason that failure is before success is, like I said, you have to fail to succeed. And people look at failure like, man, failure sucks. All I do is fail and I can't do nothing right. And this and that. And while that might be, somewhat um like in your head, and that's how you feel, and that is your truth, that's your feeling, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for feeling that. But failure is also a positive. We just don't look at it that way because society has made us think, well, if you fail, you suck. It's not like that. If you fail and you just only focus on the failure and that's all you ever care about is failing, I just fail and fail and fail, I'll never succeed, then yeah, you're going to be stuck in a world of only failure. But if you're failing in, like in this picture, you're stepping on those bricks of failure to reach a point of success, you're taking those losses and turning them into lessons. See, as humans, we often define success as a goal we've reached and celebrate and cheer in all the wins we've built for ourselves. But there's not too often that we think about the failure, and it could be because that failure was hard, it was a traumatizing time period, it was all bad. But in order to get to where we need to get to, we need to look at failure. And that is the first thing in trading that you need to prepare yourself for, which is failing. You need to fail to succeed. In trading, you need to fail to succeed. You're going to get on charts and you're going to fail. Now, it's all about what you do with that failure that is only going to push you to success. So, in trading, what are you expecting? You're expecting high motivation. When you come in as a trader, you're so highly motivated. You're just like, you've watched tons and tons of podcasts. You've watched or listened to tons and tons of podcasts. You've watched tons and tons of videos. You've waken up at 5 a.m. to get in your cold shower and have your routine and all of this and that. And your motivation is just throughout the roof. That's great. That's awesome. And then you get into the charts after watching all of these videos, all these strategies, putting on all these indicators, and you fail. You you blow your account, you lose 5 trades in a row, like whatever it is, you fail. You can't find a trade to get into, so you don't make any trades. So then you feel more like a failure because you're like, wow, I should be trading every single day. It doesn't work that way. You come in with a high motivation. Great. But the first thing is once you fail and start losing a lot of trades, what do you do with it? How do you succeed? You succeed by resetting. You succeed by focusing on the wins and not the money. See, the thing with traders is we want to focus on only the money. I want to turn $5 into 50,000. But it's taking away from what our real goal is. Our real goal is to win. In life, in anything, your goal is to win. If it's something you truly love to do, you are just trying to be good at it and win. NBA players, yeah, the paychecks are insane, of course. Of course, but you talk to any player that is really about the league, they're there to win. They don't care how much money they have. They just want to win. Football players, baseball players, competitive eaters, like whatever it is, YouTubers, they just want to win. Of course, the money aspect is involved in that, and I'm not saying ignore the money and just, do this for free because we got to live, we got to eat, we got to provide for our families. But in order to do that, you have to win. So come into trading looking to win, not to make money, is the first part of the psychology. Your first is accepting that you're going to fail when you come in. Your second is what do you do with that failure? And your third is looking for the wins, not the money. And see, I almost slipped up because we're so programmed to think about the money that putting anything before that is like makes your brain feel weird. But if you can just tell yourself, focus on the wins today, focus on the wins today, focus on the wins, I promise you the money will follow. So here I have a little chart of how trading works. Maybe it's a little off, maybe it's a little different, but overall, this is pretty much how it goes. You start here, right, at the bottom with trading. Then you get all the way up here because your motivation skyrockets and you watch every video. You hear every indicator is good and you hear every strategy is good and you try everything. You adapt from, or you take this from that and use this to this, and all of that, right? You're just kind of mushing everything together because your motivation is so high, and then you fail. Now, what do you do with that? Okay, let's say you're still like, yeah, man, I'm good, I'm good. I know failure is a part of this. I know I'm gonna fail. So then you try something new, right? You try new indicators, you try new strategies, you uh you just work things out differently, and then you fail. Then you're like, okay, this is weird. Like, I don't. They said this. If I do this, this should happen and make me win. So why? What's going on? Then you try again, try something new, and maybe this time you get even past the point you were before of trying something new, and you maybe win 5 trades, right? And you're like, oh yeah, this works, this works, this works. Next day, the exact next day. Let's say everything is the same. You wake up at 6 a.m., you do your shower, you listen to your meditation, all that. And you try that same thing that you did better the day before, that you're like, this is it, this is the strategy. And you fail. See, at that point, it's only human nature to be like to come up from that, right? You can only come up from that. If you come down from that, you basically are already here at give up. But let's say you come up from that and you're like, man, now what? Like, do I suck? Do I know what I'm doing? I've blown 20 accounts. I can't get a payout. All I do is lose. Like, what is wrong with me? Am I not built for trading? At that point there's a difference in those type of people versus these type of people. At that point, after all of that, do you give up? Do you be like, man, trading just isn't for me? And if that's you, that is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to shit on people that realize trading is not for them, because trading is not for everyone. But I am going to shit on the people that feel like trading is for them and they give up on trading, because this is what you want to do, right? In life, you can do anything you want. Of course, you have to be realistic. You're freaking 4'10. You're not going to go to the NBA, you know? Like, there's certain things you have to be realistic about, but there's also certain things that, maybe I'm 4'10. I'm not going to be an NBA player, but maybe I can be the best shooter out of all my friends. Maybe I can do these tricks with a basketball that none of my friends can do. So yeah, you didn't make the ultimate goal, but you created goals for your own personal growth, your own personal experiences that can help you achieve something that you want to do individually. That's where this comes in. Do you question yourself and give up, or do you question yourself, taking everything you've learned and all the failure you've just been through, along with all the highs, and adjust and win because you change your psychology? See, this is where I want to be, up here. And trust me, I've been down here and I've been close to this point. But I know being down here means nothing if I want to get up here. It's life, man. It's life. It's life. Trading has so much that you can use and apply to life that just doesn't deal with trading. But for so many of us, we're so focused on just the trading aspect that we miss everything else that really, really matters. So, trading is based on 3 things. Excuse me. Trading is based on 3 things. And it's not indicators, and it's not strategies, and it's not knowing the market, and it's not this, and it's not that, and it's not that. I and I know that's crazy because you're gonna be like, bro, okay, I got my psychology, and now I'm gonna go trade, and I know nothing about trading. I'm not saying that. Come on now. I'm just talking about the psychology of trading. Okay? Do not mix the psychology of trading with the market structure of trading. They're 2 different things. But you can apply your psychology when you look at the market structure. You can apply the market structure to your psychology. But first and foremost, you need your psychology. So three things are patience, ability to adjust, and not taking it personal. Trading really isn't hard. The hardest part about it is using consistently these three characteristics before even executing a trade. So before you even execute a trade, you got to have patience. Before you even execute a trade, you got to have the ability to adjust. And before you even execute a trade, you should not be taking anything that happens in the market personal. See, as beginner traders, we think, man, we should have a trade every day, every hour, every 4 hours, we should have a trade. Every 30 minutes, should I look at the, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to figure out your schedule. You got to figure out your routine. And if you don't have a trade during that time, take a break, come back, wait a day. We think as beginner traders, if we miss a trade, we're never going to be able to make that money. We're never going to make any money, right? I mean, that's how I thought. Maybe I was a bit more extreme, but that's what I thought. If I don't trade every 30 minutes, or at least look at the charts every 30 minutes, I'm not going to make any money ever again. Like, no. If we lose a trade, we're like, man, our strategy sucks. This is not it. Let me change everything up and create something new. When instead, you miss every shot you don't shoot. And I know I'm going into a lot of basketball terminology. I'm a basketball player, so that's like just embedded in me, but it's true, Just because you lost a trade does not mean that your whole strategy is off. You could have just started using this strategy and you're expecting it to be 100%, or you could be winning with this strategy and you lose and you're expecting it to be 100%. It doesn't work that way. You got to keep using the strategy. Now, if the strategy is overwhelming and there's just too much indicators, too much this, too much that, then yeah, you got to come down and, rethink the strategy. You want trading to be simple. So if you come down and create something that is simple based and you lose, try it again. And the last thing we think as beginner traders is if we've been waiting for a long time to trade and we went through our X's and O's, we crosses our T's and dotted our I's, and we're waiting for this setup. And this setup finally looks like it's about to show, but then it goes a different way. We think, at least I thought, man, screw that. I waited this whole time for this setup. And now it's doing something different. I know I'm right, right? I know more than the market. That market don't know nothing on me, man. Like, you gotta be able to adjust. It's hard. It's hard. I know. Because you can sit there for hours, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe months, trying to think and plan for a certain thing to happen, and it doesn't happen. Are you the type of person that forces it to happen? Or are you going to be able to adjust and be like, okay, now maybe I need to think about something else? See, if you're not doing those, you're not taking those steps, you're not being patient, you're not adjusting, and you're taking everything personally, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to be failing for a long time. And that's where I'm at right now. I've been failing for a long time because I've been not able to be patient. I've been unable to adjust. I've been unable to not take things personally in life, and it's affected my trading. If something sounds like an easy way to make money, everyone would be rich. I promise you. Everybody would be rich if it was that easy to make money. I got two more slides. Bear with me, okay? I really want you guys to know that the psychology of trading is important. It is so important. So, the hardest part about trading is waiting, right? Patience. The next hardest thing about trading is ability to adjust. And the third thing is we think if we miss out on a trade, we're never going to make money. The world is built of trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Just because you didn't make money today doesn't mean you won't make money tomorrow. Or just because you didn't make money this 30 minutes doesn't mean you won't be able to have that opportunity again in the next 30 minutes. See, the cool thing about trading is it's a little bit different than the world where, yeah, you always have opportunities. You know, you can always try to make money, but it's never guaranteed. With trading, it's guaranteed you're gonna make money. Like if you get your psychology right, it's guaranteed you're gonna make money. You might not make as much as you see, $1 million, this, that, but you're gonna make money. Hey, if you make $1, you made money, right? So just think about it that way. So, what does being an imperfect trader mean? Does it mean that I'm never going to be profitable? No. That's why I said being an imperfectly perfect trader. See, you can never be perfect, but you can be imperfect and you can still succeed. If you're perfect, or trying to be perfect, succeeding is even harder than just accepting you're imperfect. So if you're feeling imperfect as a trader and you're feeling doubtful and stuff, I'm not saying that's wrong. You're actually on the right path because you're not thinking you can beat the markets. You're not thinking you're better than the markets. You are simply lost and trying to understand what you can do to better yourself to win in the markets. So an imperfect trader is every trader. There is not one trader in the world that is perfect. There's not one trader in the world that wins 100% of his trades every single time he trades. There's not one. It's impossible. It's impossible. Now, there's people that are very, very, very skilled. Maybe they win 90%, 80%, 70%, 95%, but there is nobody that wins 100% of their trades. There's no indicator, there's no strategy, and I don't even think there's an AI that can make you win 100% of your trades. Because, shoot, if there is, sign me up. So, how do you become profitable? Lastly, because I know that's all we care about, right? All I care about, and if you watch this video and skip to this part, all I care about is being profitable. I don't care about nothing else. How do I make money in the market? Just tell me. Do I need to buy at this point? Do I need to have this indicator? Do I need to have this strategy? No. You just need to have the right psychology. That's all you need to be profitable as a trader is the psychology. Now, money is a big thing. I get it. The world is built on money. It's how you know, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys you a level of happiness. It does buy you a level of happiness. So if you're telling me, oh, focus on my psychology and I'm still broke, then what are you talking about? Yeah, I get it. I understand it for sure. But what I'm saying is to get to that point, we need to be good up here. Okay? To get to that point of the TJRs and, you know, the Alexes and those people up there, we need to be good up here because guess what? They are so good up here that then they're good on here, right? They're good on the markets because they're so good up there. That's where we need to get to. So being profitable, how do we get to it? We get to being profitable by accepting failure and not just focusing on success. We become profitable by putting failure first. We become profitable by using losses as lessons in order to get to the top. We become profitable by not being so extreme with the markets. See, there's not one way to be profitable. It's not about being the best trader. you know? And I wish that we could make that a thing more in our trading society. Being profitable does not have as much as knowing the market as it has to just being good in your head. That's all that being profitable is. So I just want to make this quick video. I hope you guys like it. I know it was kind of long. I don't even know why I said quick, but get your psychology right and your trading will follow. That's all it is. Focus on the wins and not the money.